Hello, I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. Last time I did part one, which was describing the relationships I had with certain people in the group. I didn't get to everybody fully, but for this, I'm not going to do part two yet. I'm going to be describing the people themselves, as in personality wise and characteristics. I'm actually going to say, you know what, you guys can screenshot this. I had recently heard that people were worried about me getting screenshots, if I was in the group, and also something about PMs being screenshotted, and also something that somebody said, which was kind of like, I don't know, kind of made my mouth drop. These hate groups, these people actually enjoy being in them, even if it's degrading somebody that respects or trusts them, they enjoy this. Okay. So they're worried about these screenshots getting out, though, of them talking about certain people and degrading them, you know. So if it's that enjoyable, why don't you share it with everybody, instead of keeping it to yourselves, I mean, what fun is that when you're just in a group?
Oh, she has a big butt. She's this.
Well, you know what? This is something that they can screenshot. Okay, I'll start with William. I'll start with William. Okay, I'll say the pros about William, as in personality and even physically. So, William, personality wise, he's when he's not really in a bad mood, and he's pretty funny. I mean, yes, he can be mean in his insults and degrading people, but there's certain times he can make it funny. I mean, I remember certain things. I mean, he used to give me my laughs, just the way he said things and whatnot. He was really funny about it. Also, I liked him. I seen him as being smart and wise. I really did. He really does have that inside of him. He knows right from wrong. Just like I said, even people that do it, abusive behaviors, we all know what is actually right and wrong. Whether they want to admit it or not. You know, like I said, you choose to be an asshole. That doesn't mean that you really deep down inside don't know that's wrong. So, what else about William? William, let's just say he can be kind and show, you know, that he cares at times. Like the last time I spoke to William, that he did that, he kind of did the turnaround and did the opposite in that group, as you've seen. But, he actually contacted me in private message and asked how I'm doing. I mean, honestly, I was, glad to hear from him, you know, and I was, kind of shocked that he actually reached out just to, see how I was doing. I told him what happened and whatnot, you know. I mean, I basically expected him, if this happened again, which I did find out kind of basically what started it, after going through all those lies, you know. But, still, I still remember those good times. Just like I said, even with, like my dad, or even I brought up with Ken, I'm still always going to remember those good times I had with those people, the good parts about them. Now, let's see. I can't say he's honest, but you know what? I found out that, Ken said that I'm not honest. And actually, I was the most honest with him. You know, maybe I didn't tell him certain things, but if he had asked me, I would have been completely honest with him 100%. And that's just what I was practicing, like I had stated in another video. So, you know, you know what? I, this is how honest I'll be with him. Oh, he's gonna kill me. I actually feel bad about this, but it was kind of funny because I was the one that set it up, and Ken and Carla's group, they had a hair contest, and it was between William and Ken. Oh man. Okay, I was kind of actually leaning towards William's beard as being the. Okay, so there we go. See, William, he has that facial structure. I mean, he has that facial structure for a beard. I mean, he looks like cool. It's like he could be an actor, like on the Dukes of Hazzard. I could see him being a cop, like in those, country places, and like, here I come, ready or not. I mean, he just has that look to him. And I mean, not many people, males, look good with the beard in their facial structure, but he has that shape that really makes it stand out. And no, that doesn't mean that I'm attracted to him that way, you know. Of course, they're probably going to start those lies again. Who knows? So, anyways, that's what I saw about him. Also, as in shape, me, it's funny because I think my dad, for males, I'm not into those, toothpick legs. For females, I myself wish that my legs were a little tinier, especially my upper thighs. But I take after my dad, and he has bigger upper thighs. My sister got my mom's side, the little, teeny things. So, anyways, on a male, I think it looks, great when their legs are more, bigger. Not no toothpicks. So, William actually he looks great in jeans. Not many men can pull off looking good in like faded out, blue jeans, but he has that country look. Like I said, he could be on a country like cop show with a cowboy hat on with his long beard. He's the chief of the sheriff's office coming out. Here I come. Mr. Tough Guy. Okay, now I will do Jennifer Shitsula. So I'm going to say the nice things first. Jennifer Shitsula, she has gorgeous eyes, and oh my goodness, she looks. I still remember this one picture of her. She's the exact of her daughter, and I mean she is like gorgeous, and her cheeks. Oh my goodness, her cheeks. She has the most beautifully shaped cheeks. I mean, you just want to squeeze them. They're so cute. She has the cutest cheeks, and her hair. I mean, it's just like it goes so perfectly with her face and those cheeks. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. She also has great shoulders, and shape and upper side. She's really really greatly shaped. She doesn't realize that how great she looks, with her cheeks and that face. It goes so great with her cheeks, her whole face shape. Now, as for her personality, I think Jennifer, deep down inside, it's easier to be an asshole, but Jennifer, deep down inside, I really think she has a heart that's been well hidden. I mean, me and her, when we talked to each other alone before, the Colt clan formed. She was more open, and we really got into things, and more detail, and really, I felt empathy between the two of us, and understanding, you know. So, that's where I seen with her. And let's see, Sharon. Now Sharon was like the moral mother of the group. Before it became the Colt clan, she still was with me, even though she was like, going back and forth, between the hate group and me when they hated me, and she just stayed with me. She was supportive there, but before it became a Colt clan, Sharon was like the mother of the group. If she seen something was, she would actually say it. She would speak her mind as to what she thinks is right morally and wrong. She was, really good about that. I think she was a great teacher, and still could be if she went back to that. She was really good at, not getting involved, in certain things, like that were really not nice and really despicable, I should say, and cruel. Like, as you see in the group, she actually got involved in it. That's not how she used to be. She used to, if most, she usually just kept her mouth shut, and she would tell me afterwards. See, she wasn't really good at saying it to those people in the clan itself, but on the side to me, she would tell me, what she felt was, wrong and cruel and despicable. I mean, even though she didn't really stand up for me that much, I still really looked up to her as in, being a very smart, wise person, knowing right from wrong, you know. As for physical features, Sharon has, really great eyes. And also, I mean, her lips, like many people, women, they want their lips to be like full and everything and have a certain shape, you know. Hers are exactly that. I mean, they're just like perfect shaped. It's like those are the really great features of it. And same in her, just like Jennifer, she has that really unique, upper shoulder and even arms, are perfect shaped, the way they curve and everything. It's like the perfect, you know, figure for even like a dress. She just has that shape. It's almost like, it reminds me of my sister. She has that perfect shoulder shape and how they curve and everything like that. And also her lower calves. She has very nice lower calves. They're very well shaped and everything like that. I think she looks stunning in like a dress. You know, she would look really. She looks really would look really great in like a dress because she has the lower calves for it to really stand out in the way she is, in the way she's shaped. But it's her, her face is really great shaped, and she does have a good shape to her face. I mean, Jennifer, it was her eyes color. Oh my goodness, her eyes are so gorgeous. I mean, they just like glow out, and I still remember that picture. And her cheeks. Oh my goodness, she has the cutest cheeks, just like her daughter. Oh my goodness, I still remember that. Now, Cheryl, I'd say that she wasn't good at really saying what is right and wrong, especially to the people in that group. She was she kind of held back. It's almost like she actually enjoyed watching when they got mean, but and she wouldn't really even say it to me, until the end, you know, not this recent, but the last, where she finally admitted, you know, that it was wrong what they were doing. Sharon all along until the last, not recent, but the last incident, stopped. But still, it was actually Cheryl, the last incident, that actually said, this isn't cool. But then again, you seen her back in the hate group and didn't even say anything to me. So yeah, that shows something right there. But anyways, now Cheryl, as for characteristics, I'd say that she has issues with being there for people and being supportive, because she had gotten used by people, as she had told me herself, about certain things that's happened to her, where she actually reached out to people and they really took advantage of her. So she's kind of like, kind of afraid to, open up. But she was there, and I enjoyed talking to her. She was fun to talk to. That's what I could say about her. She was fun to talk to. Now, as for features, I loved when I remember she dyed her hair, two different colors, that she did highlights, and low lights, two different colors. I mean, she looked so gorgeous. And I mean, she's like, as a mom, she looks like she just has that, mom type of comforting type of style. I mean, I remember being on the phone with her and her kids. Oh my goodness, it was so cute. Oh my goodness, hearing her little ones and how she was with them. She's so gentle and loving with kids and patient too. I mean, she just has that in her. Okay. Now, as for Jennifer King, I'd say that, you know, she was kind of more of like, to herself. So she didn't really open up much. But as a mom, I think that, she really, wanted the best for her children. I seen her as, that type of mom. And she also was good at being, wanting to be strict and teaching them right from wrong. That's how I seen her. As for her, it was her eyes. She had really beautiful eyes. And also her, she had really beautiful cheeks too, you know. And let's see, next person I'll do, I guess we'll go to the other clan. Okay, I'll start with Michaela. Now, Michaela, I seen her as kind of wishy-washy. I mean, she was, I don't know, you would see, if you see her, she looks like she's the, you know, perfect person with great morals and everything else. But she was more about helping people. She was good at helping people in certain ways. As for helping, as for, you know, being there supportive, and standing up for people, no. She basically would just sit there and watch things happen. And but she's interesting, and nice to talk to, as in having a good conversation. As for physical features, I think that she has, you know, really, she has the leg shape for, dresses, all types of dresses. You know, I don't think I've ever seen her wear dresses that often, but she has that shape for dresses. She has that figure. You know, we were talking the other day, and I even said, I said, and it's hard to tell that she's actually the height, because it's much shorter than you would think. That's because she has really long legs. So that's why she would look great in a dress, because she has those long legs. I mean, a lot of women just they wish they had those long legs. You know, and also her, eyes are really, really, pretty. The way it blends great with her face. Her eye colors goes great with her face. Okay, let's see. I'll do Ken. Okay, Ken. Um, I would say that I thought he was honest and a trustworthy person. And, recently I heard some things, so I wasn't, too thrilled about it. But if we're going by, I'm going to go by the person that I thought I knew instead of what I've been finding out and seeing. Okay, the person I thought I knew, um, he was interesting to talk to. Like I said, he wasn't judgmental. I mean, that's where I would say that the person that you see in those hate groups and the person that talked to me during those times when he was still that friendly dork, you wouldn't know who he was. Two different people. You know, he was clever in a sense. Just like with William, I came to him for certain advice. That's how I did with Ken. Two different ways though. Ken was, he was more good at as for wise advice as for, how to do certain things. Like even asking him about, how much to pay for certain things. Like I remember asking him how much I should tip somebody for a ride. I asked him which type of cleaner, is best for certain things. Basic stuff like that. I've even asked, based on my own personal experiences, like questions as to what is right and wrong based on it, and what would be the best thing to do, things like that. So I always felt comfortable talking to him. I mean, of course, like I said, I'm gonna stay to the nice. That kind of hit me, back. He said that I'm not honest, but hey, I just, hey, I'm honest. I think that William's beard, I'm not, okay. I mean, I'm not saying his hair is ugly, but it's just not what I say is his, best feature. Like, like I'm not gonna, he always says that, women are like, oh, I love your hair. And, oh, I believe him, they do. But, that's not something I'm like, that's not what I thought of him when I first saw him. Like, oh, look at his hair. I want it. No. Okay, I'll stop. He's gonna get upset. Okay. Okay. I feel bad because I didn't. I guess I wasn't honest when I wasn't gonna say that in that group. Okay, I never want to say it, but you know what? He said that I'm not honest. See, I was just honest. So, to you. Um. Oh, definitely. Let's see. I'd say that out of everybody with eyes, I would say Jennifer has the best eyes, and so does Ken. Ken has the greatest eye color. So does Jennifer. I mean, it's like they shine. Their eyes are like glow, you know? That it's really the color and how they just glow and like shine right out. It's like they just shine right out at you, like glow. I mean, it's just amazing. And let's see. I mean, I'm not saying his hair looks bad on him. I mean, for a guy, I'd say he looks good. Not many men can pull off hair, but I'm not. I don't think it's his best feature. As in, let's see. Trying to think. Okay. Oh, his shape. He's not like a toothpick, like I said. Like so. Okay. So yeah, just like William, he has legs that are more you know bigger, not toothpicked. I would have to say he doesn't pull off the total country look like William does. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'll have to think really hard here. Oh, okay. He could be a great actor. I mean, for comedy and whatnot, he would be a great actor because I know he's gonna kill me, but whenever he's, mad, he's like a cartoon character. But see, that's where his quality is that most probably didn't see. But even though he turned into, choosing to be an asshole, I'd have to say that if I had a choice of who I'd want to teach me how to argue, I'll give that. I'll be honest. He's when he's being nice and respectable, I should say, he is great at arguing. I mean, he's not the type that, like William. That's where the difference is. William is like, rawr, that's like, there's no talking there. Now with Ken, when it was just me and him and he wasn't under the influence, he was very calm and respectable. He may have said some mean things at first, but then he would tone it down. See, that's something that he could actually teach an anger management group. He can actually teach others how to speak to somebody as to where they don't feel scared and they'll be able to work it out in a way that would, both would compromise and meet, halfway. You know, that's when he's not under the influence. So, yes, he did teach me how to, argue and, well, not he's still better at arguing than me when he's being respectful. But let's just say that, like I said, he could actually teach people how to argue, and how it should feel instead of where you feel like there's no point of arguing with them and they're being mean and degradable. So that's his features as for a person. Um, Carla. Well, I'm gonna be totally honest. You know, I don't say much personally with her because it ends up getting over here, and it's just like the thing with I'm not sure it was her that started it, but saying certain things based upon what they thought they saw. So, but as for a person, I think I actually enjoy talking to her, over certain other people, because she's actually more, interesting, and she keeps, the conversation interesting, and I enjoy talking to her. She can give good advice, you know. I mean, I think that she's more of, a puppet where she goes from side to side, but when she is, not under that influence, she's really a good person, and I have come to her for like, tips on certain things based on things that I didn't do when I was living with my abusers. I would actually text her and ask her for the advice upon that. So anyway, she does have that wise type of you know thing in her. It's just like when I was escaping, she was the one that gave me certain you know feedback as for suggestions, and just feedback that actually helped me a lot, and I really appreciate that, and I always will, because that helped me come to, you know, understanding certain things and why I was the way I am, and was, and everything else. So that she was a big help in that. As for her features, I mean, her altogether, I mean, she would be like that model, perfect shape and curves and everything else. And the blonde hair, I've always loved blonde hair. My hair's not naturally blonde. I actually wish that I had blonde hair, but I have to dye it blonde. She's got. I know she dyes hers, but hers always comes out so much better than mine. I love the color of her blonde hair when she has her hair blonde. It's like perfect. It's like gorgeous, and she has a really really pretty face. Like a model face. Like you can see her, with her makeup on and everything. Stunning look type person. Okay. Now John Paul. I didn't say much about him in the last because that was more about people that I knew the most. I had only started to get to know John Paul when the not recent but the last bullying incident started happening. I had just started to get to know him a little bit. I didn't start talking to John Paul more so until after I had gotten out of that last bullying incident and I had escaped my abusers and I had refriended him. So I really didn't really know him. And let's just say that, especially after the recent bullying incident, you know, everybody thinks that I was, like best friends with him or, you know, any of that. I honestly, especially even when I first got out, I was very cautious about anybody that I was around. And much more after what happened with the recent incident. Like I said, I had become extremely fearful, even being around people. I feel anxious. So, the good things about John Paul, I still remember him from LDAA, just like I remember Ken. He was a very nice person. I mean, that's how I seen him. He was very friendly. He wasn't cruel and degrading people. He fought very in a nicer way, you know. And I'd say that he also, I could relate to him, in a connection based upon, he also has certain issues like with, anxiety and stuff like that. It's I mean, everybody likes to put down mental illness, but just like I shown, you know, a lot of people in that group have issues with it. But you know what? Everybody has a mental illness. People always like to degrade it, but you know what? We all have feelings. We all go through problems in our life and all that. You know, there's just some people that can, they just hide a lot of it. I mean, like William. I mean, that's one thing that I wish I could be. People could sit there and tell him that, he's the ugliest doofus, snot bag pussy ass bitch. And he wouldn't give two shits, you know. So that's where him and Ken are different. Ken plays, that he's that Mr. With everything, you know. But actually, well, it depends on who's saying it. If, like, he didn't like it, he would get mad. See, he got mad at me if I did anything that was insulting to him in any way, But if it's somebody that he totally can't stand, or even somebody that he just, I don't care, then he's like, that's where his, because Ken doesn't give a fuck, it's like, mm-hmm, sure, he likes to put on that, okay, I'll stop. I was trying to be nice. Anyways, back to John Paul. um, now, John Paul, he was, like I said, he was, we had a connection based upon, that and understanding, you know, because my anxiety disorder mainly comes from having epilepsy. So even when I'm happy, it's a pain in the neck because I get anxiety symptoms, and my chest hurts, and it's like, shut up. It's like, I'm in a good mood, so leave me the heck alone. So, anyways, but he was actually also understanding, you know, of even when, of what I was going through, Like I said, even if he was the one, like people are always, even from the beginning, saying that he's the one that started it all or whatever, even if he caused this last recent incident, you know, I mean, he's still not really in, there. And, I'm not going to make any excuses or exceptions, but I do understand, not wanting to even deal with it, It's like me, that's why I left that group, is when it got to where being a cold clan, and especially when they started colliding, I was like, plus, I'm actually glad that I'm out. It's like, let's just say it would be hard for me to come up with insults, and we'll get to that part in another part after this, just to prove it, 'cause I want them to have some good screenshots, So, okay, now features John Paul, you know, he has, I mean, most men are afraid to be, without hair, but you know what? John Paul looks great even without hair. And another thing, not many men would look good with a goatee, but John Paul looks great with a goatee. And I love his, you know, sense of, fun. He loves, dressing up as Santa Claus, even as the Easter Bunny. He's so great with his kids like that, where he can, be characters like that for them just to, make them happy. I just think he's a great father, and he just has that in him to, he wants his kids to be happy, and I think that's really great about him. Okay, so I think I got all of them. I basically discuss the ones that I mainly, talk about. As for, you know, not just personality, just even physical features. So that's gonna be it for this part. The next part, I'm gonna give them screenshots where I'm gonna try to come up with insults like they do. They can screenshot that too. Okay, so I'll see you for the next one. I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. See you next time.